a immigrant, an individual that has actually grown up in a time that was it was horrific for some people, and it's actually a privilege to speak to a person that has actually seen the changes in the world from where it was tyrannical to a lot more peace. How you doing, Charles?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you reaching out and just that little bit of a conversation that we had before we started the recording. I thought it was very interesting. So, if you don't mind, where did you grow up and what time period?
I grew up, excuse me, in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, for about, let me see, it was about 12 years because I was in the orphanage for a few years and it was such a disaster that I couldn't take it anymore. Excuse me. And I ran away, lived on the streets of Amsterdam, and I met the American family that heard my story that was so taken that they took me to America. And in 1963, I became an American. Thank God. Been looking forward all my life to become an American. And that's how it all came together.
So, you were born in 1941, correct?
Correct. February
And
13th,
February 13th. Happy birthday.
a Friday.
Well, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, to be honest with you. So, how was it like in the orphanage? How was it as a child growing up and then actually leaving there and then dealing with homelessness and then coming to the United States?
It was a terrible time. It was a really the guy that ran it was a an elderly, very mean policeman with a big German Shepherd at home, and we were all scared to death. And if we were being punished for whatever reason or no reason, then we were forced to let the big German Shepherd out. And it happened to me one day. And the guy, the shepherd got so mean. I thought he was so mean that he jumped my arm and give me a piece of my arm out. And I just ran away and let the dog go. And so when I came to the charity and the dog was gone, I could just tell you, I got beaten up on the table till blood came out of my butt with everybody sitting around, 12 other kids. Yeah.
It's that's a very rough time. It's
Yeah.
not something that we normally see anymore nowadays, but I want to say it's a privilege to be able to speak to a person like yourself.
Thank you so much.
When I know vitamins is a huge passion of yours, and then you also run a nonprofit as well for children as well. When you were growing up, so you were 12 years old when you came to the States, what what inspired you to get into doing with vitamins? Why did you make that a part?
My body and my mind were still a disaster from what I went through all these years. I was very suicidal, and the people that I hang out with in the beginning, they recommended that I take some handfuls of vitamin pills to start feeling better. And that was music to my ears, so I did it, but that never changed me. The pills never worked. And so I started studying nutrition and had some meetings with medical doctors and asked them about vitamin pills and come to find out that I should really have a liquid vitamin that absorbs about 98% within 3 minutes into your bloodstream rather than the hard pills, which end up in the toilet, most of it. And that's what I did. I created it for me so I would feel better. And it worked so well that we made a company out of it. Yeah.
So why do vitamins help out with depression and suicidal thoughts?
Because it works on your immune system and it works on your entire inside of your body, mentally and emotionally, and so it really works very good in that aspect. And when you start feeling much better, things are becoming a lot easier.
I've heard like vitamin D really helps out with that. I've heard with other ones. What is like ones that like what obviously you said that it makes you feel better, but what is the cost benefit of it? Like how do people notice the change?
Well, you feel better and you can you be more positive and you be more pleasant to other people to deal with. And it just overall just blows your mind how this changes you. This 1 liquid ounce a day. It's mind boggling. You feel it.
Well, it sounds like it. It sounds like that 1 liquid ounce a day actually does it. But did you go to university for to become like a pharmacist or a chemist, or how
No,
did you just?
no. I on my own, I took everything I could to study nutrition and dealt with a few medical doctors and discussed my situation. And they helped me a great bit to become, the inventor of this passion for health product. And, when you put over 100 ingredients in 1 liquid ounce, it takes a bit of work to make that all work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like this is just a big passion of yours. The 100 ingredients in 1 ounce. What is Why'd you get into the orphanage or the charity, the nonprofit?
Because of my terrible past, and I promised God in those days that if He ever helps me out and sort my life out for me, that I would give back big time and do something with little kids and help them that are in a similar position like mine. So in 1978, I created this passion for kids.
1978. So how long have you been like running this? How was it to start up, and how did it change you when you started this nonprofit?
Well, I had very big feelings of pleasure and accomplishment to help other families with their situations, what I went through, and so that they did not have to go through the whole thing, but with my help, were able to change their existence.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed how these kids been able to grow up and how they've been able to change? Do you keep in contact with any of them?
Some of them, yes. Some of them we are in contact since 10, 15 years. Yeah, absolutely.
And I would actually safely imagine that people that went through like the orphanages, they have also mental health issues. Is there, besides vitamins, is there other things that you have noticed that help people out change mentally?
Prayer, daily prayer. Yeah.
How does prayer change your life?
Well, it makes you feel much better. You feel more value. You feel like when you share your feelings with other people, they benefit from it. So overall, it is a very positive experience.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how it's changed your life? Like how you notice you've seen the changes in your life?
Well, yeah, I am much more positive, and I am feeling that if I want to do something and I pray about it, it usually helps big time. And once you start this kind of life with prayer and trust in God, everything changes for the better. Everything.
So a person like myself has been trying to build a relationship with God, but I've been ambivalent. What would you say to a person like myself that is looking for a better relationship with God, and how could I find it?
Well, the best way would be to associate with Christian people, uh, perhaps join a church and talk with the pastor privately and sit down, and within no time, your life will be changed. It all comes.
What do I lose and what do I gain?
What do you lose? What do you gain?
Yes.
Well, you gain everything and you lose disaster.
Oh, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I guess I'm looking for a little bit more detail because when a person like myself, I hear this is what you gain, this is what you lose, but there's no real buy-in. It's just like it almost seems like the obstacle is so high and it's not tangible.
Well, maybe that's what you say now, but it is definitely changeable, and it changes sometimes very, very quickly. It didn't take me more than a couple of months to change my whole life around. So, and then the fact that the vitamin company donates a portion of every bottle sold to the charity, that helped the charity, the kids and the families in a big way. And so everything just makes you feel like you so much better than it used to be. And when you can help other people in that way without asking them for anything, just because they are people like you are and they go through what you went through, they're very, very grateful. Yeah.
I can definitely safely imagine that people are very grateful when you're able to help them out, especially in the darkest times. My mom was the church that she went to, they really helped her out with finances and also spiritual support.
Uh,
But as a person that has kind of seen the worst in humanity in a lot of ways, I've actually questioned like how do I actually have that connection and why would I be even privy to that type of getting away from the disaster?
Everyone is privy. If you trust in God and you pray and you read His Word and you believe in Him, whatever you're learning, you'll see how it'll change your life totally. Totally. Yeah.
What would be a book or what would be a book for me to go investigate or explore in the Bible that would actually help change my narrative?
A book?
A book in the Bible.
Oh boy, that is a very difficult question because I would say 70 or 80% of the Bible really, really, really pertains to what we're talking about. So, a specific book, I cannot tell you a specific book. I would think maybe Paul and no, there's a book. My wife knows it very well because my wife used to work also after the White House for Billy Graham. She ran the press with him for 22 years all over the world, but she's not around now. I would ask her, what's the right book? I don't have the specific answer. All I know is that whatever I read and learned from the Bible and the prayer has been a phenomenon. So,
How has prayer been able to help you with your mental health? Because I know you said that you were suicidal and depressed. How does prayer help you out with that?
because you get a wonderful feeling inside that you did something right, and God is there helping you mentally and emotionally through this entire situation, and so you feel it just in your mind and your body in every way. Yeah, it is hard to explain it properly until you feel the difference that's working, and it's a phenomena. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the reason I was asking this question because, like myself, on April 8th of 2006, when one of my buddies got killed, I
Uh-huh.
was actually, I remember praying a lot and then walking away from the Bible, walking away from God, and how it actually really destroyed me. And
Mm,
it destroyed a lot of my other buddies while we were overseas.
mm.
And I've been working on a relationship with God post that. But however, like some of the hardships that I have heard and I also know is how do we trust in God and how do we actually get that close connection? Because with the atrocities that we have seen, but then how do we actually be able to accept His love?
It's hard work, trust, and hard work, and lots and lots of prayer, and it'll all come to you. It's hard to believe that all in when it's not that way yet in you, but I've been through it, so that's by experience. I'm telling you, prayer and trust in God, and it changes your whole life day by day. Yeah, but you have to do it to experience it. It's very hard to explain it all exactly what you feel, but it is a phenomenon. I've never realized that this would be possible.
So, and like I asked you before we jumped on here, you're 85 years old. What continues you growing your business?
I'm 85 years young, excuse me.
My apologies.
Well, because a part of the business helps the handicapped children, and that's where I came from. So, when you have families whereby the husband dies in an accident and the wife and the kids, they have no more money to pay the rent or to buy food, that's what we do with our profit. That's where it goes. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It sounds like it's phenomenal because like there's quite a few different people like the McDonald House, the Ronald McDonald House, where they actually help out people with finances as well. But I love when people are able to give back to the individuals that have been underprivileged, that
Yeah,
need that additional support. Because,
yeah,
like you said before we got on, it's like when you get those knocks on the door, you don't know what's going to happen.
exactly.
And you might need that additional support of other people to keep you safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, if you have the experience of becoming close in God's world, then it'll all come by itself. It's hard to imagine that when you don't have it, but it'll all come by itself. Every day you feel better and better. Things happen to you. You say, wow, how is this possible? But that's, that's how God works.
Yes, I have to say I've been privileged with God actually also helping me. I fell asleep on the barrel of a shotgun on January 14th of 21 when I almost took my life,
Hmm.
dealing with suicide. And God actually kept me safe because otherwise I was
Nice.
just about a few pounds away from just saying goodbye.
Oh, boy, God bless you.
But, and similar to what you're trying to do with helping out people, my message of why I ask people questions like yourself is to help them have alternatives with mental health or to be able to look at mental health from a different side. And I spoke to people from religious aspects to clinical aspects, but when people like yourself share stories, it's extremely powerful for people that are listening so that they can have the possibility of choice of change.
Yeah, that is correct. That's what it takes. And it'll all come by itself once you start praying and when you have live a decent life, a godly life, whereby you are good to other people, and it'll all come together.
What besides God and besides the vitamins, who was an influential role in your life that continued to push forward?
My wife, yeah, with her background,
How long have
yeah.
you been married?
I'm sorry.
How long have you two been married for?
21 years last week.
God bless you guys.
Yeah.
Sounds like you made yourself a nice partner. But so if you don't mind, I know like I was asking you before about the vitamins. Can you, and obviously you have your vitamin company. Can you help me understand why your vitamin and what would I actually see the noticeable changes in my life if I started to take your vitamins?
Yeah, because they're very, very precious ingredients, all 100 of them, and they work on your body inside and they work on your mind inside as well. And that, along with the prayer, you just say, hey, I found the right thing here. These vitamins are mind boggling. I don't need to take any more hard to swallow pills that make me sick. And I just have 1 ounce a day of delicious tasting liquid vitamins with 100 powerful ingredients that work on every part of your body and that keep your immune system as strong as it can be.
Where can they find your recipe, or working out your recipe? Where can they find your supplements?
They go on the website. It's passion and then the number four and then health, HEALTH, vitamins. Passion number four, health, vitamins, and .com. And then they can figure out the whole thing. They see a lot of background information. They see our formula. They see many articles from people that write in how it changed their life, and they can also go to Amazon, either Amazon or our company. They can order it. Yeah, you get a
Well,
30-ounce bottle. You put it in the fridge. You shake it up every morning, and you pour your ounce, and you're done. And even kids can take it. They take a teaspoon for every 17 pounds of body weight, and we've had parents come to us and said the teachers have asked them what they did to the kids that they have so much improved in school, and we're very happy to admit that this got to be it.
well, I'm glad to hear that for you, sir. I really do. I well, I want to say it was just a privilege just to chat with you, and I want to say thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Will. Really appreciate it, and God bless you for all you do.
You too. Have a good one.